start by first of all welcoming everyone to this very special Tuesday session. I'm going to ask three people to speak very, very quickly before we get onto the main action. So we have our district director with us, Gerard Mannix. So he will say a couple of words, followed by Daniel, and then followed by Danny, and then followed by me. And then the man you've come here to see, the trainer, Cajetan, he'll be here in about 5 minutes. So we all have to be very, very brief. So over to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you very much indeed, Elizabeth, and a very warm welcome to all of you on this Tuesday evening. And we have a seminar especially for training in Canva of members of District 71. I suppose Canva is something new to all of us, which kind of dawned at the beginning of this year when I heard about it anyway. And Canva is an online graphic platform. I know some people have been used to Canva, but this is a beginner's introduction. And we're delighted to have Cajetan Barretto to give us this talk today. As Elizabeth said, it's going to be recorded so that there's reference, either somebody who missed the show or somebody who wants to go back over it. It's available for that. Definitely Canva is used to create social media graphics, such as presentations, posters, documents. We have very successfully done some lovely posters this year, produced to Elizabeth in District 71 to post different events. And also, I need to be confirmed on this, Canva is a free graphic design tool. So we'll find out more about that as we go ahead. Thanks, Sam, for putting up your hand on that. And it helps to create a visual voice for Toastmasters. Toastmasters, we're all about communication. So we have a new instrument tonight, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, Canva. So do I hand over now to Danny Banks? Is it, Elizabeth?
Hand over to Daniel Sanders first. So we'll speak for a minute and he'll hand over to Danny.
Okay, Daniel, over to you, our Program Quality Director. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Gerard, and welcome everyone. And I'd like to introduce Danny Banks, who's District 71 Training Chair. And part of his job this year has been to set up the Tuesday evening supplemental training series. And he's just about, with this one, to launch the next one. Danny, more about that, please.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. And thank you, Gerard. As Daniel was saying, we started experimenting with the Tuesday training before Christmas. We ran about 8 sessions in October, November, and looking around the screen, I can see some familiar faces from those training sessions last year, and they were pretty successful. So we decided to run them again this year. Now, Elizabeth has managed to arrange this for us to kick off this season. We've got 5 more sessions after this, covering next week. We've got how to run a quality club contest, followed by pathways, followed by this is testing my memory now, followed by a session on podcasting, how to prepare your club for next year, and then effective evaluations. These sessions are aimed at helping, as Gerard said, helping us develop our skills as Toastmasters and as officers. What I'm particularly looking forward to tonight is the fact that I'm not in the seat that Elizabeth's in, because I am a learner tonight. So it's not my responsibility to run the meeting and organise everything. So I'm very pleased to hand it over to her tonight. So she will now explain what's going to happen this evening, and I'd like to thank her for organising this tonight. And I'm really looking forward to learning something that's going to help me improve my IT skills, because boy, do they need improving. So please help me welcome Elizabeth.
Thank you, District Director, Program Quality Director, and Danny, Training Manager. The next bit for me is pure pleasure, and I'll tell you why. I think as Toastmasters, we're all about helping each other, and I was just bowled over because Cajetan is, I would say, in terms of global knowledge of Canva, he's really up there with the best of them. And when I spoke to him last week and said, would you mind come do training for us? He didn't hesitate. He took time out of his very busy schedule. It's late at night for him, but he really said he wanted to do it. And I want to thank him sincerely for that. I mean, most of you probably will know him because he's very much he makes the tech for Toastmasters videos, and his videos are far-reaching. They're about Canva, they're about the use of camera and equipment, they're about pathways. I mean, this man is a polymath. And not only do you get one, you get two for the price of one, because his wife is also very, very technical. And Priscilla, we're delighted to have you both here with us tonight. Both DTMs, both highly respected in their areas. Cajetan won the district Toastmaster of the Year. So, this is a caliber of person he is. I know he's also very humble. He didn't want a massive introduction, but I thought I had to say a few words about him. So what he's going to do tonight is basically introduce you to the use of Canva, this wonderful software that will help us to produce posters and so on. There's going to be time for you to actually produce a poster. And in my capacity as PRM, I'm going to give prizes to the posters judged to be the top 3. So there'll be small, modest prizes. So I'm telling you this, I want you to have fun with this, really listen, engage, and have fun. And I said, possibly three small prizes at some point for the best posters. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to our trainer, Cajetan Barretto. Over to you, Cajetan. And by the way, you've got 105 people in your audience, so we are all ears and eyes. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Even though I told you I don't like long introductions, you ended up giving me a long introduction. And I'm happy to be here with you in District 71. And we are going to do something fun today. Those of you who don't know Canva, I hope at the end of this 1 hour, you will learn Canva and you will produce something for us. Those who already know Canva can sort of be part of this workshop, maybe give your feedback as I go through it, give your own spin. Some of you are experts, I know. So you can share also your ideas about how you use Canva. So without spending too much time, let me just move into it. But before I start any workshop, I always like to introduce myself with my own slides. And as you know, I'm a Toastmaster since 3 years and achieved my distinguished Toastmaster in June. But more than that, I have many hobbies, whether it is in scuba diving, whether it is photography. And photography actually is my main hobby. And the reason why I have this kind of setup with me, because before the pandemic, I had all this equipment with me. And when I was locked down, I decided, why don't I use all this equipment and make something out of it? And that's why I have all these cameras connected here and that allowed me to become what I am today in creating this Tech for Toastmasters videos and helping others online. I have my social media channels for photography on Facebook and Instagram. And this is my Tech for Toastmasters channel, where I post a lot of videos on anything from Canva, how to make presentations like this using software like OBS and Pathways. This is all of I'm basically a passionate Toastmaster. As for ground rules, I'm sure most of you are familiar by now to keep your microphone muted unless required to speak. And I want you all to use the speaker view, not the gallery view, because all of my presentations will happen through this camera module. I will not be using any screen sharing because I don't want to basically take up your screen and you don't see me. I like to communicate. I like to connect with my audience whenever I'm delivering my training. So all my training will be like this. Do post your queries in chat as we go along, and I will look at them. And as we always say in Toastmasters, safety comes first. If there is any emergency, Canva workshop should be the last thing on your mind. Stay safe. To help me run this workshop effectively, I have a quality assurance with me. And let me introduce her, Priscilla Dias. She's also a Toastmaster since 2017, just like me. And the reason is because I sort of dragged her to the first meeting that I attended and made her come for all subsequent meetings. And I believe couples, if they join Toastmasters, it does help because then we don't have to argue about spending too much time in Toastmasters. She's currently the VP head of a club, Kuwait Challenges, but also she's an Area 21 director. And she's also a trainer, and she loves delivering club officers training. And I think she's a better Canva designer than I. And she's on target to become a distinguished Toastmaster by this June, once she completes her area director role. So Priscilla, would you like to share a few words?
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here with 107 other members, Toastmasters who have joined this Canva workshop. And I'm here to ensure that this workshop goes smooth, though I myself am facing technical problems right now, but I'm sure I will have that fixed before we start. Over to you, DTM Cajetan.
Thank you very much. I must also mention that she is a quality assurance for children's education, the food we eat, and our marriage in general. So let's look at what are the learning objectives for today. And I want to make something very clear. Teaching Canva is one thing, but teaching Canva for Toastmasters is a different ball game. And in fact, it's a much simpler thing to do. If you told me that in 1 hour, teach Canva, I would say, no, that's too less. But if you tell me teach Canva for Toastmasters in 60 minutes, you will see it is possible. And you may ask me, why is that possible? Because Toastmasters has given us a toolkit, and the toolkit is made up of our colors, our fonts, our logos, and images. And that's it. This is what we have to do. And I know sometimes people get frustrated saying, why am I restricted? Why is my toolkit only so little? Why can't I have more things, more colors, more fonts, more images? And I am one of the proponents of this toolkit, that we should stick to this toolkit because it makes our life easy. I know there will be some exceptions to, as I said, to this, because they feel constrained by these limitations. But think about it. In Toastmasters, we are non-profit. It's a voluntary work. We have a work. We have a family life. And if you ask a PR manager, create something and spend 2 hours, 3 hours making one poster, I think you're spending too much time. I personally think that if you spend more than 10 minutes in making a poster for your club, you are spending too much time. So having this toolkit allows us to not create something, but more about assembling, because everything is there for us. Just pick and drop it. And if you really have the time to make something really creative, and it is not as per the guidelines given to us in a brand manual, still you can do it. Make your creative work, send it to TI, branding@toastmasters.org, and ask them to approve it, giving you a justification. But for the most of us, we don't have that kind of time to create something from scratch, but we have the toolkit with us, and we are going to cover this toolkit and how we can apply that in Canva. I will give you opportunity to create a simple poster, and as mentioned by a PRM, you will post, I will show you how to post your work, share it with the rest of us, and I will showcase some of the work. And at the end, those who have done something really good today in this 1 hour, 3 of you all will get something from your PRM. So all the best. Now let's start first with the color palettes. And as you know, we have now in the new brand manual, very limited color choices. In fact, we have only 3. You can see them here: the true maroon, the loyal blue, and the cool gray. Those are considered as a primary colors while designing any content, which means when we transfer this now into Canva, we have very limited choices of which colors to choose. And I'll make it even easy for you. We do have a happy yellow color, And that should be used for highlighting certain things. We call it the accent color. And at the bottom, you will see we have this 3 colors, the digital loyal blue or the digital blue, which has only a specific use. I will explain where you can use that. And of course, we have the black and white, which are the primary colors of any design because they are there by default. The paper is white, the ink is black, so black and white always exists. So first, I will focus on colors in Canva. So let me move to Canva. And those of you who have not used Canva before, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to canva.com and sign up and create an account as you would do in Facebook or any, all you need is an email ID and you get a free account. And someone mentioned Canva is free. And yes, 90% of the work that you want or 99% of the work that you want to do in Canva can be done in free. I have a pro account, but I didn't pay for it. And those of you who want to try it, maybe you can try it yourself because Canva has something called Canva for nonprofit. And you can apply. And I applied as a Toastmaster, as a division director. And I said, hey, I do all this work for community. Can you give me a pro version of Canva? And because if you, the organizations that are registered as nonprofit as Toastmasters and those who provide public and community benefit as we do, if they review your application and find it useful, they may give you that free account. And when they give you this, it's not just for one person, they give it as a team. So I could share mine for up to 10 people. Otherwise, of course, if you're paying for it, it's $10 per month. But as I said, for Toastmaster work, you don't need a pro version. You can do everything in free. And for that reason, I will switch to my free account because whatever I do, I want to do it in the free account. So you see it in that free account. So this is my free account now. And as I said, the first thing I want to do is I want to focus on the colors. And the way we do that, and to make it life easy for us to get the exact colors of Toastmasters, is to go here called the brand kit. And the brand kit for the free account allows you to set up, let me remove all these colors, set up to 3 colors in the kit so that you don't have to remember the codes, exact color codes whenever you want to use them. So first you go to the brand kit.
We can't see it clearly. Can you just zoom in?
Okay, how about now? So we have the brand colors in the brand kit.
So we can see.
Yeah, I'm going to add them now. Okay, so what we do is your brand palette will be empty here. And what I want to do is I want to click on this plus sign and add my first color. And those of you who had seen my slide in the color palette, you know that the first color is 772432. That's the code you must know as a Canva person. You must know this code 772432. That's the maroon. 004165, that's the loyal blue, and A9B2B1 is the cool gray. What I normally do is I have a small card that I have printed that I keep always on my desk. It's always here. Whenever I want to refer to those colors, those primary colors and the accent color and the digital blue is listed here. So I can always refer to them when needed. So what I will do is I have clicked on the plus sign and I will put the first color code, which is 772432. And it has
need to zoom in a little more.
Okay. You can see the color, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll add the second color, and that color, let me put the blue, which is 004165. So I'll type 004165. That gives me in the blue color. And the third color that I use very often is the cool gray, which is, I will type here, A9, B2, B1. So I have my 3 colors set up. I would have loved to add the yellow, but the problem is if in the free version, if I try to add the 4th color, it will tell me, hey, can you subscribe for a pro account? And as Toastmasters, since we don't make money out of it, it makes no sense for us to subscribe to a pro account. So we'll manage with these 3 colors. And whenever we want to use the yellow color, I would note down that it is F2D F74. So this is the only color I need to know. Once I have set up my colors, what's the next thing I need to do is let me go back to the main screen, Canva. And on the right-hand side, we have something called Create a Design. Okay. And when you click on Create a Design, you will get choices of what kind of design you want to create. Right? So you can say Instagram post, you say, I want to create a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post. And the reason why all these choices are there is because the dimensions of your poster will be determined by what you choose. And I normally like to create Instagram post because it creates a square poster. It's good for social media. And when you create something square, it can be easily posted to Instagram. It can also be easily posted to Facebook and other messaging groups. And it appears, what I should say, it has the right dimensions for all of the social media. But if you were creating, let's say, a poster for printing like A4 size, then you could choose a poster size. So choose the right size for the target that you are creating the poster for. If you're going to post it on social media, then Instagram post is good enough. So let me click on that. And you will see that it has created a square shape. And what I want you to see is when I click on this, you will have this button here on top to show you the colors that are available. And what has happened, if you notice, is that the 3 colors that I had defined are already here, which means anytime you want to create a posters, anytime new poster, you don't have to worry about these colors because they are there in your palette, in your brand palette. Because otherwise, if you had not done this step of going to the brand kit and defining those 3 colors, every time you want to set up a color, you'll have to refer to the color code. So this saves you the time of creating content with these colors. So let's say I have created this poster and I want this background to be maroon. So I can click on this button and choose maroon. And I have a starting point of my poster with a background of maroon that I chose from the brand palette. At this point, I will just like to take a pause. If anybody wants to, let me check any chat messages are there. And I hope you have understood.
You have one request. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I'm just reading all the questions.
Yeah, you're reading the questions? Okay.
Yes, so the first question is your email password that you have to input. I guess you're talking about creating an account on Canva. So you have to give an email ID and a password to create an account, and then you can log into that account using those credentials. And please show the screen with the color numbers on. Okay, screen with the color numbers on. So this is the screen. I don't know whether you can read the numbers or the codes properly, but if you download the Toastmasters brand manual, you will find the same codes there. Okay, now that we have the colors, let's move on to the next part, which is the fonts. And if we were to refer to the Toastmaster branding guidelines, and I have one document that I can show you. Yeah, so I have one file, and I will share this file with you all in the chat. Those who want to, let's say, print it out and create something like this for yourself. And it has this 2 pages that you can print and maybe laminate it and keep it as a reference. So these are the colors. I will share it with you, and the color codes that we have to use. And these are the fonts that we have to use. So when it comes to fonts, Toastmasters has reduced the fonts to just 2. That is Gotham and Myriad Pro. And Gotham is the font that we should use for our headings and the main titles, and the Myriad Pro is the font that we should use for our subtitles. The problem with these fonts is they are paid fonts. In fact, they are very expensive fonts if you want to use the original Gotham and Myriad Pro fonts. And so what Toastmasters has done is they have given us an option to use free fonts that look almost similar. So in Canva, we don't have Gotham, we don't have Myriad Pro, but instead of Gotham, we can use Montserrat, and instead of Myriad Pro, we can use Source Sans Pro. And let me make myself smaller. So you can see that the Gotham should be used for your headings, and the Montserrat in Canva, and the Source Sans Pro is what you should use for the body of your poster. Okay. So now let me go back to my design, and the design that I created, the square design with the Instagram format with a maroon background. And let me then type something in this. Let me type a name of a club, for example. And to do that, you will look at the left-hand side of Canva, and you have something called text. So text is the option that you will use when you want to type something on your poster. So click text, and you will get an option to add headings, subheadings, and body of text. It doesn't matter what you choose. You can just click on heading, add a heading. Just click on it, and it will bring a heading in your poster. Move it around by holding it down like this at the side, and you can move it up, down, left, and so forth. And as you move, you will notice some pink lines appearing. And those pink lines are to help you to align the object. Like if I see this vertical and horizontal lines, it means that this heading is now perfectly in the center. If I move it up and place it here, it means it is aligned horizontally, but not in the center, right? So you can move it like this and place it somewhere here. If you hold the corner keys from somewhere here, and if you move like this, then the object will become bigger or smaller. And the first thing I would like to do is fix the font, because the font that is here is not the branded font. And the font that I should use here, of course, is the Montserrat font, because that's my heading. And I can click here on this drop-down arrow and choose the font from here. But because Canva comes with hundreds of fonts, it can be quite difficult to locate the font quickly. But in Toastmasters, as I said, it's very easy for us to do because you have a toolkit. We don't have to waste our time to see which font looks good. Is that right font? No, there is only one font. So you click on this search box and type Montserrat, and you will get the Montserrat fonts on your left-hand side. And you can, of course, choose whether you want the bold or you want the semi-bold or thin. Any of this will do as long as it's Montserrat. So let me choose, because it's a heading, extra bold. And now this is a brand font. And I can change the text by typing, removing this and saying, let's say, the name of the club. And again, as we know, if you want to make it smaller, we can use the handle on any of the side handles on the corners and move it like this. So it becomes the size that we want. If I want it on one line, then I can drag this way from here like this. And also, if I want the size of this font to be precisely a certain number, for example, if I want to select all of this with my mouse, and I say, I want this to be 40 points, the font size. Right now it says 31.7. I want it 40. I can click here and type 40. Okay. So I have selected the first text box, put my club name. Let's put one more text box. Again, I will go to the left, select text, and this time I can choose subheading, add subheading. And I can either click on it, just click, it will appear on your canvas, or you can, sorry. Or you can hold the mouse key and drag and drop it wherever you want it. It's up to you. And let's say here I want to put meeting number 300. Again, remember, if you want to resize it, hold this to make it small or big. Vertically, you can move it this way. And when you see this cross, it means you can drag and drop, drag it around the canvas wherever you want it. And that is how we keep adding text. Now, the question for, I'll go back to the colors. What color of the text it should be? And if I click on this color here, of course, I can make it any of the colors that are available here. I could make it, for example, the gray, the blue. I can make it white, or I can make it black. What I recommend is, if you look at the color palettes, and let me go back to my color palette, the maroon, which you see here, and the blue are considered as dark colors. The gray is light color. So whenever you're placing any text over a color, make sure it is contrasting. So if your color is dark, then your font color should be light. If your background is light, then your font color should be dark. That's the way it should be. So in this case, when I look at my design here, putting a dark color, dark font color over a dark background will not be readable to the people. So that's why try to choose a color that is contrasting with your background. So in this case, white seems quite appropriate. It could be also silver, acceptable. So we have covered now the colors and the fonts. So as you can see, it's very easy to assemble content because you don't have to think too much about it. You have the toolkit, just use the toolkit and create your content. If there are any questions, Elizabeth, that you think are important at a certain point in time, you can always interrupt me, and because I will not be able to see all the chat. I do keep an eye on it on my second monitor. But
I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it for you. But I think so far you're very clear in how you are explaining and assembling the posts. So I'll watch the chat for you.
Now that we have understood the colors, what are the colors available to us as a palette? What are the two fonts that are available to us? And so therefore, please, my advice to you is just stick to these two fonts. I know if you go to any social media on Facebook, you will see posters that are clearly violating brand guidelines. And there is no particular reason for doing that. There's no particular reason to choose a font other than that, because this is a readable font. Putting a fancier font will not make your poster more attractive. It's more about the content that you put inside. And finally, of course, what really attracts the members is your actual meeting experience. So focus more on that. Your existing members, mentoring them, bringing new members, showing them the right experience in the club. Posters, as far as possible, stick to the branding guidelines. Now comes the logo. And when it comes to the logo, I will go to my Toastmasters website. And for all PR managers, of course, our go-to location should be the brand portal, because everything that we need, everything regarding branding is here. If you want to download the brand manual, feel free to do that. But more importantly, we are interested in the logos that we can use for our posters. And of course, with the new update that they made several months ago, all the logos have been rationalized. So now we have very limited logos that we can use. And I highly recommend, even if you had a logo that was available to you before, or some kind of a graphic element that was available to you before, please don't use it. Just stick to what is available in the brand portal. So we have several kinds of logos. We have several kinds of word marks. We have lockups, and we have the pathways logos. All of this is what we can use. Even for Gavel clubs, now they have officially placed the logos in the brand portal. So the logo that I like to use is this one, the first one. And the one that I always use is not the one which is JPG, but the one which is called PNG. And PNG is a format that stores a higher quality image. And more importantly, it has a transparent background. That means when you place it on your poster, it will not show anything around the logo. It will be transparent, and you'll see that now. So if I click on this PNG, and I will show you a trick now to copy this logo directly into Canva without downloading it on your PC. And the way it works is you right click on the image and you can see copy image. And this works for any place, even if you had some Google images and you right click and you say copy image. So I've copied the logo. Let me go to my Canva. This here, and I want to place the logo. All you have to do is press Ctrl V, not paste, do not do paste like this. Just press Ctrl and V. and the logo comes magically in your Canva canvas. And you can try it with anything. If you say Google some image and you found an image and you want to put it on your poster, right click, copy the image, come to Canva, Control V, and voila, you have your logo. And again, if you want to resize it, use the corner handles like this, the circles that are appearing here, and make it the size that you want. Remember, there is a minimum size that you can place, you can have a logo, right? And you will find it in the branding guidelines. It's 72 by 72, I guess. And once you have that size, you can place it here. One good thing about Canva is Canva doesn't allow you to distort the logo, unlike other designing tools. So it will not get crushed or elongated if you move it around. It will always retain that aspect ratio. So whatever size you create, it remains, the aspect ratio is retained. So now I have placed the logo. I have placed my club details. And we are almost there, right? It's so simple because everything is available for us. I'm not really designing, I'm assembling. And that's the difference between creating content for Toastmasters. Assemble the content that is available to you. Sounds good?
Yes, can I just say one thing, please, Cajetan? Can I just make a small point? When our members are copying photographs and logos and so on, please make sure that they are either from the TMI website or they are from free.
I'm coming to
websites.
that. I'm
You're
coming to that.
Okay,
yeah.
fine. Okay.
So that's my images part of it. So
Thank you.
Last part of the assembling is, of course, related to images.
Thank you.
So images is something I have very strong opinions about because I'm a photographer, and every meeting that I used to attend, I used to take pictures. And those are the best pictures that you can use in your material because that shows the members, it shows the engagement that Toastmasters wants us to convey in our posters, right? If you have a person speaking on the podium, that shows confidence, that shows leadership, right? So that is what we should be looking for. Pictures of people engaged, enthusiastic. That is the type of images we should be placing on a poster. So if you have your own images that show that, especially your club members, and of course, if you have the club members' permission to publish, use them in a poster, then use them. Show pictures of your club meeting environment, how the meeting room looks. That is a great poster to use, a great photo to use. If not, if you want to use one of the Toastmaster branded photo, and again, as I said, that's why Toastmasters has provided us all of this material, because we can quickly assemble things rather than worrying about where to get our images from. And as your PRM has said, Google is one of the worst places to get your photos from, because you can run a full of copyright laws, because just because it's available in Google doesn't mean you're allowed to use it. And even if you use it, you would not know whether it is conveying the right message of Toastmasters. So first of all, the first choice should be your own photos that you have of your club. That's number one. If you have them, you can upload them. And the way you upload them is you click on this side here, upload, and you can use the option to upload media and upload any of the photos that you have on your computer. Let me upload one from my computer just to show you what I mean. So I have here a Toastmaster folder where I have all the photos that I take. And let's say I have this photo of one of our meetings. and I click upload, and it comes here in this section. And if I click on it and drag and drop it, I have a beautiful poster showing the club members engaged, enthusiastic. That's what I should be aiming for. So if you have photos like this that convey the image for the meeting that you are creating this poster for, fine. Your second option is to take the photos provided to you by Toastmasters. So let me remove this photo and go to the Toastmasters brand portal. And as you can see, we have access to professional images, several hundred available for us to use depending upon the situation. So click on that, and you can, again, once more click here for access. And there are 3 collections. Again, click this button. And once more, and then we have finally, we reach all the photos. And you can see they have a couple of them here. And let's say I want to choose one of these photos from this collection over here. I'll click here, and it will show me all the photos that are available. Once more, let's say I like this one, okay? I'll click on it. And unfortunately, if you try to right click to copy it directly into Canva, as I showed you for the logo, you can see I cannot right click. They have disabled the option to right click for some reason. But if you go down at the bottom, you will find this download button. Okay? And if I click that, it will download, and you get an option. You want the high resolution, you want low resolution. You can choose what you want depending upon your needs. Maybe I need a medium size, 1200 pixel. It's quite reasonable to use in a poster. I will download it. And as you can see, it downloads it on my PC here. And let me just put it on the desktop to make it easy to show you how to upload it. So I have downloaded a branded photo from Toastmasters International. Let me go to Canva. And here, I want the photo to appear in this box. What I will do is I'll click upload and click upload media. Make sure it's on images and say upload media. And since I have selected desktop, all I have to do is click device, click on the desktop. I'll see that the photo is here. Click open. And after some time, the photo appears in your gallery. Click on it or drag and drop it to your canvas, and your photo is ready. So the first option, use photos from your club environment. Second, go to Toastmasters brand portal and download any photo of your choice that is available to you. It's free. And the third option you can do is to use this option available in Canva. And Canva provides several hundred, maybe thousands of photos free to use. And some of them are free, some of them you have to pay. But if you have a pro account, then you can access millions of photos, all free. But make sure that they have that they are Toastmaster brand compliant. And when I say Toastmaster brand compliant, what I mean is that it should convey engagement, it should convey positivity, networking, and so forth. So let me give you an example. I can click on photos here and I can search, let's say meeting, search for meeting, and it will bring up all photos related to meeting on the left-hand side. It's taking some time. And what you will notice is that when the photos appear, you will see an option here, whether it's free or whether it's pro. If it is pro, I can't use it in a free account, but if it is free, I can use it. And this you don't have to pay any royalty. It is free to use. The question is this brand compliant? My opinion, of course, this is definitely brand compliant. And if you think that it will work, you can use it. But is a photo like, let's say, if I found a photo in Canva and something like this, if I place this photo, I'm sure some of you will say why I cannot use this photo. And can somebody put in the chat why this photo will not be brand compliant? Anybody? Animals. Yeah, the answer I was looking for is animals. Of course, the other things about engagement and all is there, but the thing that is really striking here is that there is an animal here and we are not allowed to use animal. Food, especially a toaster, is not allowed to be used. And so I can't use that. So search for if you want, and as somebody has mentioned, and you can access it from here also. Somebody mentioned about Pexels and Pixabay. And so if you scroll down and you come here on the more and you search for Pexels, they also provide tons of free photos that you can use. Search, as long as they convey what we want to convey and are brand compliant, you can use them. But don't go to Google. Google is a bad place because those we don't know whether they are free to use or not. So you can also click more and search for Pixabay. Also similarly, search what you want and you can use all of these photos for free. So let's go back to my uploads and I will use Toastmaster photo. So I have assembled a poster made up of branded colors, branded fonts, logo, and a branded Toastmaster photo. Part of this exercise will be for you all now, after 10 minutes, I will take a break for 5 minutes. And what I want, the second part of this workshop is that you'll be given some time to create something like this. And when you create, one of the things I would like you all to do is to put your name. So click subheading and put your name here. So this is my, so we can identify who created this poster. And what you will be doing is when you want to share the final result with us before the time is over, you will click this share button. Okay. And this will allow you to share. And when you say share a link to edit, change this to view because we don't want to edit your photo. We want to only see it. So share a link to view and you say copy link. Once you copy the link, and if I was to post it in the chat now to everyone, you all will be able to click on this link that I have posted and see the same design that I have created. If I had shared the link with the edit option, then you could change it yourself. How cool is that? So what we will be doing is we'll be taking all your submissions in the chat and I will review them. And then at the end, those who have done the most creative work, top 3 will be given a prize by your PRM.
Before you take a break, there was one question that was asked earlier on. Can you import templates from the TMI website?
When you say templates, what are we talking about?
I guess the person's talking things that, you know, you've got templates for newsletters and documents and so on. Can you import those into Canva?
No, basically Toastmasters publishes most of the material as PDF files. You know, they don't provide a template that we can edit. Their magazines, everything is shared as PDF. So you won't be able to actually recreate or sort of import it and say, okay, I only want to fix here and there. You'll have to create the content from scratch here in Canva. And I've seen people creating beautiful newsletters, posters, videos, everything you can do in Canva. Now, of course, I want to spend the next 10 minutes to show you some of the editing tools, because we have just assembled some text and we have colors, but I want to show you some things that we can use to edit and make this more professional looking. And so how we do that is, first of all, we want to, let's say, add some elements. So far we have only added text and photos, but you can also add elements. And in Canva, if you go to the left-hand side, you have all of these elements that you can play around to make your poster more attractive. So let's start with the shapes. So let me make this photo a little smaller. So we have all of these shapes that we can use in our poster. So let me click on See All. And any of these shapes can be used. Let's say I want to use a triangle shape and I want to only show part of the triangle. So I have the shape like this, right? I can move it around. I can make it bigger. Remember, I can drag and make it big. And if I want to change the color, let's say I want to make this an accent color of yellow. So I click on this, click the color, and oh, where is the yellow? I don't have the yellow because my free version did not allow me to create a kit with the yellow. So for yellow, I have to remember it. I have to type it here. In this box, I have to type F2DF74. This is the code, remember, for yellow, and click on it and your design will have that accent color. Okay. You can go crazy, let's say with a circle shape. I can bring a circle here and I can either have the whole circle, I can have part of the circle like this. And let's say I want to make this blue. So again, click the color. Blue is easy because it's in the brand palette. I don't have to worry about the color code. And you can see at the bottom, it shows me 004165. Click it. Now, the next part is when there are two objects. As you can see, there is a shape and there is a photo, and they are sort of competing with each other. Who should be on top? And in this case, because we place the circle afterwards, the circle is now on top, and that is not allowing me to see the content of the photo. To fix that, all I have to do is click on the photo, and I have this option here called position. So I can say position it on top, on forward, bring it forward. So there is forward, backward. I don't have the backward option because it's already backward. Canva knows that. But if I want to bring it forward, now the photo comes forward. Okay. So this is how you will manage when there are multiple objects. And let's say it goes like this, and you want the accent to cover this part of the photo. Same, I will select on the shape and I will say position, bring it forward. So same way, if I have click on the photo and I say position backwards, now it goes back and the other object comes on front. So play forward, backward as you want to be creative in your poster. Let me again bring it forward. The other thing about text I would like to highlight is when you click on any text, you get all of these options that you have. The only two options that I showed you in the beginning was to choose the right font and to choose the size of the font. Okay, but there are other things you can do. For example, you can make it bold. You can make it italic. Okay, you can change the color that we saw anyway. You can change the color to one of the colors. And you can change the alignment. What do I mean by alignment? Let me make it a little bigger like this, just to show you how alignment looks. So right now it shows it is center. But if I click on that, it goes left. That's the left alignment. Then this is the right alignment. So you can move the alignment left, right, center, depending upon how you want to place your text. Similarly, if I want to change the alignment of my meeting also to be right, I can click on this button and it goes right. So this is the alignment part of it. The other thing that I want you to observe is when I move this object, keep an eye on those pink lines that appear. I don't know whether you can see it clearly, but I think you can see. As you move it to the right, now the pink line appears telling me that this object, meeting number 300 object, is aligned with the heading, capital speakers. They are precisely aligned. Okay, so you can use those lines as a guide to understand whether your objects are aligned or not. And other things that you can do is, once you're comfortable with that this is correct, it is in the right place, and you don't want to make any changes, you can always lock an object. So when you click on these 3 dots, you have this option to lock. If you lock, what happens is accidentally you will not move it because it doesn't move. It is locked now, this object, but this is not locked. I can move it around. Okay. If you do want to move it around at a future point in time, you can click on it and you can unlock it from here. And then all of the options open up for that object. But when you lock it, everything disappears because it's locked. You don't want to make any changes to it. So as we can see, within 1 hour, I managed to show you how we can make a poster and how you can assemble a poster with all of the branding elements that are available to us in terms of colors. We even showed you how to create a brand kit, and I hope all of you all do that because it saves a lot of time. Showed you how to use the 2 fonts that are available to us, how to bring the logo from the Toastmasters website, photos, and make some basic editing of the text, resizing of all of the objects, and your poster is ready. Of course, we can put a lot of more text in it, but that's simply click on the text button, add whatever text you want, whatever details, the Zoom ID, the password for the meeting, theme of the meeting. All this can be easily done because that is nothing new. It's what I have already explained to you. So now I think it is time for a short break, and I will go through the questions to see if I can address any one of them.
There was one question on whether you could set up a brochure in Canva. So to do a sort of pack, a guest pack for new starts, could you do all that in Canva?
Absolutely, you can do it. In fact, maybe Priscilla will demonstrate to you some of the work she has done because she loves to do all of those things. So she has created brochures, and even she did, I think, a newsletter using Canva. Very simple.
Okay, so are you okay? We're now at 3 minutes past 8. Do you want to set the exercise for people, and then they can have I don't know 10? What do you want to give them? 10 minutes or 15 minutes to create a poster?
Yeah. So basically, I want to give you all 15 minutes to create something like this. First of all, to make it consistent, use the same layout square, which is the Instagram. Then I want to see the text, I want to see the logo, I want to see a photo, and then add anything else you want to add within those 15 minutes. But it should have the at least a club name and a meeting number, the logo, some photo. You can use the Toastmaster photos, or you can use any photo that is brand compliant. Add some shapes, and put your name. Make sure you put your name and then click the share button and share it to us in the chat after 15 minutes.
Sorry, Cajetan, can I just ask again what was the number for the cool grey, please?
Cool gray is A9B2B1.
Right, thank you.
I think it may help to put the numbers up again, because I think lots of people probably have forgotten what the numbers are. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I must admit, Elizabeth, my question is even more basic.
Which is what?
My question is even more basic. How do I find the color palette?
Okay, everything is in the brand manual on TMI. Cajetan, do you want to go back to the brand manual and show the colors? Do you want to do that, please?
Sure.
No, I mean I've got the numbers.
Yeah.
From the manual, but what I need to do is find how to get it on Canva.
Okay, so Cajetan, assume they've got the numbers, or show them on your little thing, and then show how to get the numbers in Canva. Could you demonstrate that one more time, please?
So first of all, if you look at, I hope you have managed to, first of all, create a design. Have you managed to do that?
I've managed to find it.
Okay. And you create Instagram post?
No, I haven't, not yet, no. Instagram post, okay. Right.
I think you may have to walk through it a bit, just walk through it a bit, just very, very quickly before people do the task.
So if everybody could click on create a design and then select Instagram post.
I don't know what I've done.
Can you see? Can you see that? Can
Brand
you see that?
kit, it says.
Where have you got to, Margaret?
I'm just going to leave it because I just can't get my head around it at the minute. So I'll watch and listen and get back to you when I've got a thing done.
Okay. This is meant to be for everyone. This is meant to be fun and so on. Cajetan, I think the people who can get on and do it, let them get on and do it. Could you just sort of go through it one more time so Margaret can see you do this, please? And others can just carry on and do their own thing, because this is a break now for us.
Yeah.
Okay, I suggest you do it one at a time. Put out the Instagram screen, show how you can change the background and add the text, logo, and the pictures from TMI.
Okay, Priscilla, are you showing us that?
No, I'm asking Cajetan to show it.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think that would help.
And let everybody do it. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, of course, first of all, you need to go into Canva, and I hope all of you have managed to create an account. If not, it's very easy. You have to basically sign up here. Okay, and then when you click sign up, it will ask you to sign up with an email or sign up with Google, sign up with Facebook, whatever you want to choose. And then you can start and log in. In my case, since I already have an account, I can log in and log in. And this is my account. And you should have this on your screen, right?
Yeah.
So this is the screen that you will have on your, when you start. What happened here? Let me start again. Yeah. Once you have the screen, which is once you have created an account, you will say create a design. And then you have these options and choose Instagram post. So anybody has a problem to reach this place or no?
I think we've got one design in already, I think. And Sue's done one.
Okay. More than one,
I've got this
actually.
far.
So let me share the first design that came out.
Can I just
Yes.
ask you a question, Elizabeth? I just want to write on a shape. Can you remember? I have my
Okay,
book almost
so-
done. I just want to write on a shape.
You need text. You use the text box on the left-hand side.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Whoever said that.
Let
Just a
me
question
check,
there, please.
Okay.
I have my Toastmasters logo in on my poster, but I'm trying to shrink it down. But when I shrink it down, it's cutting off part of it. So what am I doing wrong?
Are you
Can you
shrinking it from, sorry.
Toastmasters
can you share
International
your
Circle.
screen and show us? Can you share your screen?
Okay.
I think Larry,
No, yeah,
he'll
I'm
be-
not-
he'll need to
I'm
be
not a
co-host,
co-host.
won't he?
Okay.
You should be able to share now. I've just changed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
You may give us 1 minute to answer Larry's question, then we come to you next.
Oh, sorry.
time. That's okay. No problem. Are you sharing your screen? Is Larry sharing this? Oh yeah, we're viewing that now.
Yeah, see on the top left.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying
Okay,
to
so
shrink
I want
that.
you to, I want you to hold the corners, not the side, the corners,
Okay.
the circles, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Well done.
thanks. That's great. Thank you.
Right.
Right,
There you go.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Okay. So Bernie had a question. Bernie, you're next.
Okay, I tell you what, let me see. I have actually just I was listening, so I've downloaded Canva now. So, and I've gone into Instagram. So I'm just wondering, where do I start now? What's my next step? I've just downloaded it.
So do you have the screen with you? Something like this?
Yes.
Okay.
I've
the first
chosen Instagram.
Yes, so you will get a square shape like this. So the first thing you'll do is you click anywhere on this square shape. So you get this blue line around it. And you see this button here, which says color.
Hold on a second, sorry. Yeah. One more second.
Are you sharing your screen, Cajetan? We can't see it.
I can't share a screen, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Sure.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Yeah, it's open now for all share screen.
Okay,
How
so
do I
share
do
your-
that? Sorry.
There's a green button at the bottom with an upward.
Share
pointing back
content.
arrow. Yeah, share
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
And then I go to URL. Maybe you see, I've actually gone in on the website to Canva, so I'm not sure how I share it. So I go to share screen or share content. Yes, right.
Share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no, we're not seeing. No, we're not seeing your screen.
Yeah.
Really, what you need to do at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there's a green share screen.
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I have that. Yeah.
hit the up arrow.
Yeah.
And then you should see a picture of your desktop or whatever, and then share screen. Press right hand corner.
I actually downloaded Canva and I have the Instagram done, but I have that. I googled Canva, so I don't know how to pull that over.
Oh, okay.
Just share your screen and we can see what you're doing. Whether it's Instagram or Canva, just share your screen.
I can't do it. That's my problem.
Okay, your share screen is on the Zoom. Okay, it's not on the Canva, it's on Zoom. So you've got the green.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you hit the up arrow
Yeah.
to share your screen, when you hit that
Yes.
up arrow, sorry, the green up arrow, yeah,
Yes.
to share screen,
Yeah.
can you see the Canva on that?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I'm on an iPad.
Ah, all right. Okay, okay.
I think, Bernie, what I'm going to suggest in the interest of time, because I can use Canva,
Okay.
I can do a session with you. We can do it
That's
together.
okay. That's okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. I believe some people have got, they've actually done posters they want to share. So who's got a poster?
Yeah, I
to
can
share?
see some amazing posters coming up very fast. All I ask you all to do is please make sure that on your poster that you're sharing, put your name so that we know who has done it.
Yeah. So should we share some? Do you want to share some of them on the screen so we can see them?
Actually, I'm doing that. I'm currently going through some of the ones.
Oh my goodness, this is some Ipswich electrifiers. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But
Oh,
here you notice that there is a problem with the logo because you have maybe while resizing it, it went slightly.
Yes.
You have to, I think we have to
go back. You've got to pull the edges. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is, yeah.
Okay, so the logo just needs adjusting on that one.
Yeah, just needs to.
It was fine when I created it, so I don't know what's gone wrong on the share.
Yeah, okay. You can just rework it and repost the link, no problem.
Is there a way of saving the poster? Does it need to be saved before it's shared?
No, it should share automatically. I mean, it should save automatically.
It's saved, yeah.
Okay.
So just go
very
through
nice.
Whose is that?
Talagat.
Sorry, that's mine.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, well done.
Put
your name so that we can identify
we can
you.
identify. Someone's asking if I've seen. Sorry, I haven't been looking at all the posters. Is there one from Janine Hop? Let me have a look.
Okay, here I want to highlight one thing, that this color is no longer. There used to be a red color in our old brand guidelines, but we are no longer allowed to use that color.
Oh gosh.
So change it to maroon, which is 772432, and you will be good to go. Beautiful. Love this. Simple.
Oh, my name's
everything is branded. Name is there. Phoenix Tara Toastmasters. Please put your name, the creator, so that we can. We'll be reviewing all these posters.
I had my name on it, but I just changed it. I didn't realize it was still live. I just changed it here on the because I wanted to see it myself to post on my Facebook page or the local one. Sorry about that. So it's me.
I can't keep it before the posters that are coming. I'm gonna have to download them and go through them.
Yes, yes. And that's why I came up with this idea. And somebody was asking me, I think somebody has a trouble how to share. Obviously, all you have to do is when you have your poster like this, click on the share button and make sure that you share a link to view only, because if you share a link to edit, then people can edit it. But if you share a link only to view, we can only see it. And then click this button, copy link, and then that's it. Paste it in the chat.
Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah. Okay. We're now at nearly 8:20, so we've got another 10 minutes. What I'm going to suggest, I will download the chat and I will go through all the posters. But I think I would suggest we use the last 10 minutes for you to ask Cajetan any outstanding questions you have. One thing I would like to see you do, Cajetan, please, is put in a link, a link that you can click on. A clickable link. If you can demonstrate that, that would be quite helpful because we do that quite a lot.
So, for example, if you have, let's say, a website or something like, let's say you want to show a text box, let's say here, and you want to put www.toastmasters.org. And what you want to do is you want to make it into a clickable link. So people can click on this and then go to the Toastmasters website or to your district website or to your club website or Facebook page, wherever you want to go. And the way we do that is, first of all, you can select this box and select all of it and say, in this, there is an option called link. You should see this button on top called link. And when you click on link, you can type the same link, the actual link, which is www.toastmasters.org, the website itself. And what happens is it will create it as a link. But this link will only work. It will only work if you download this as a PDF file. Sorry.
Did you see mine now, Elizabeth?
Yes, I'm just going to download a lot because they're coming at me hard and fast. I can't keep up. So I'm going to download everything and have a look later.
Yeah, we will save the chat so that we can
save the chat and then we'll go through them. But I wanted to give you the chance in the last 10 minutes to ask Cajetan any outstanding questions you have.
Yes, the link, by the way, I was saying I'm having a small problem. Oh, I'm getting some error message here.
Elizabeth,
I don't know if there is a problem with
just on Canva, just how a newsletter is created on Canva.
Sorry, Cajetan, you're having a problem, did you say?
I'm having a problem. It's giving me some error, the Canva itself, to download the file as...
What, to download the chat?
No, the
poster.
File.
Okay.
I'm trying to... Seems to be a problem from the website itself.
How do you actually get, once you've made a poster or a post, how do you actually get it into the social media? How do you post it from Canva?
Yeah.
I tend to download it onto my machine.
Yeah.
Then post it from there, go into Facebook or wherever I want, and then upload it through the Facebook. I have more control of it.
I do the same, but I think I do the same as you do. But I think, is there not a way, Cajetan, to post directly from Canva to the social media?
Yes, you can do that. You can directly post to Facebook and Instagram. If you see the option, let me click share. I'm having a small problem on my PC. Let me try and sort it out. Let me click, close everything. Oh, I'm on a wrong.
I think if you click on the buttons in the top right-hand corner.
No. I'm logged into a wrong wrong account actually. That's why it happened. I think I have my account with this. Thank God. Yeah, I had logged in with the wrong account.
So you're back on track.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you demonstrating? Were you demonstrating the link, how to do the link, or what were you demonstrating?
Yeah, it was giving me an error when I was trying to. So I was showing you how to create a link. So if you put a text box here and you put, let's say, www.toastmasters.org, and you want to make it into a link, you can click this option here, link, and type the link, the actual website where you want the person to go, and click apply. And this link will be available only if you download this as a PDF file.
Yeah.
Not as a photo. If you download it as a PDF file and you say PDF, and download. And if I click on this PDF file and see, this is a hyperlink now. If I click on it, it should take me into toastmasters.org. Okay, so link is, you type the text, click on the link button, and then use this option to link it so that, and download it as a PDF file. So that's how you create links.
Okay.
Sorry, may I ask a quick question?
You may.
Wow.
Brilliant session, by the
Actually,
way.
by the way, I'm so sort of overwhelmed by the response from so many of you all posting your work. I'm just going
I know,
through
I'm
it.
totally overwhelmed.
It's too amazing, yeah.
So may I ask,
You may.
Tan, how do you stop the snapping? The snapping is really useful most of the time, but sometimes you just want to finely tune where you're putting something, and of course it snaps maybe further than you want it to go. Is there a way of switching that off?
Like this, you meant to say, like when you move it around like this?
Yes.
Wait, I normally do it with my arrow key like this. So if I select the object and if I move it up and down like this with the arrow key now.
Your arrow key as opposed to the cross.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I just
so helpful. Really fantastic. Thank you very much.
Could I just ask for the hex code for the yellow in the Toastmasters branding, please, Cajetan?
Yes, it's F2. I have it here. It's F2.
F2. Yeah.
So it's F2 DF74.
F2 S74.
No, F2 DF74.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so it comes like this. Obviously, it's not appropriate here because it's not contrasting. So I have to. And I like white as a background because when you have white as a background, you can use your font colors from any of this and they look really good, you know. So when you use white as a background, and so any of the colors can be used as your, not yellow, definitely, but and one important point that I want to just mention is I mentioned about a color that is not in the brand manual called the Loyal Blue. And I wanted to tell you where you can use it. And the place that we can use it in the elements called gradients. So if you scroll down to the elements, you have something called gradients, right? And gradients are interesting way of creating shapes of multiple colors. So if you have, for example, this gradient, and I drop it here, you can see that it gives me the option for 2 colors. Okay, and the only allowable gradient from Toastmasters officially is to use the blue, which is 004165. And for the second one, to use the gradient, which is 01, you can note it down, 6049. Sorry, 01. Did I make a mistake?
74.
01?
016074.
Yeah, but it is looking slightly
Sorry,
different
94,
here.
94. 94.
94. Yes, okay, 94. Okay, so not this gradient. I will choose a gradient which has only 2 colors. One. Yeah. So this is a gradient that we can use in our design. It looks like, slightly dark blue to slightly light blue. And this could be used as one of the design elements in your poster. That's the only gradient that we are allowed to use, a mixture of these two colors, 004165 and this color, which is 016094.
Okay. It is now 29 minutes past 8, and I know where you are, Neriton, I think it's after midnight. So I think we're going to have to call a halt to this excellent session. I think, Gerard, is the district director still with us? Gerard, are you still with us?
Yes, I am indeed, Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to invite you, please, to say a few words of thanks to our esteemed trainer.
The thanks goes to you, number one, Elizabeth, and the work that you've done on Canva during the course of this year. Also to our PQD, Daniel, and to Danny Banks and the training team, and especially to Cajetan, Barretto, for the wonderful presentation. And also, Elizabeth, to the wonderful students you have. I don't see all the presentation of the different things.
I couldn't keep up. There were too many.
The bar is raising. So if that doesn't bring new members and new clubs and stuff like that, I'll be crying a hankyful. Okay. I think the one aspect that I really loved, and Larry raised it, was the aspect ratio of how to move the logo about, where it has to come from the corners right in and keeping it in proportion. So that is all, there are always lessons, no matter how many minutes you live in any one day. So I wish everybody safety during all the year. Keep well, keep safe, enjoy your Toastmasters, and do the best to keep your quality raised in all the clubs, all your meetings, and for yourself also. Thank you and good night to everybody.
Thank you. Can I please ask everyone as well to save your poster, just save the link to your poster, keep it copied in case I have any disasters. I want to come back to you, but I think I've saved the chat and I will review all of them. In fact, there's someone I know who's an expert at this. I may ask her to cast an eye over them with me. So we choose the top 3 people to offer a small gift to. But thank you all for having such high energy, for sort of participating. And of course, my last words of thanks to follow the district directors is to Cajetan and to Priscilla for an excellent session. And he's also quite happy, for those of you who are keen, he's happy to come back and do a more advanced session. But let's think about that and we'll see how you, I think. But before we go, can I just ask you to unmute yourselves and just let's end with a round of applause to show our appreciation.
Unmuted.
Okay, thank you all so much. You're